The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting off with Rick Milne in the village of Honeoye Falls. Rick, what's going on there?
It's great to see everybody again, and thanks for the opportunity, Chris. A few things, both village and county-wise. Again, right now, the village is really working hard on planning for our environmental fair, which is Saturday, April 27th. That begins at 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Harry Allen Park. And that, of course, is weather dependent on the location. Should we have some bad weather, we'll move it over to the fire hall and we'll still have the fair set up, but it could impact, obviously, some of the activities. But this is always a family-friendly event. We give away tree saplings. There will be some food there. There'll be a trail cleanup, kids' activities, presentations pertaining to local environmental issues, and things that the community is working on. So it's always a fun time. And that, again, is Saturday, April 27th, currently set up for Harry Allen Park from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's always a fun time, so please come out for that. Actually, as we're presenting this or taping this, this past Thursday, April 18th, it was the Monroe County, the annual Monroe County Youth Awards. And that is the 24 Legislative Youth Awards, where we have some of our very talented kids in all of our legislative districts that get some nice recognition for things that they're partaking in. This year, our numbers in Legislative District 5 were down a little bit as far as the nominees go, and I think that's really more from a lack of getting enough information out, because we know we have so many talented kids throughout Monroe County and certainly Livingston County and Ontario County. But for the Monroe County Youth Awards, we had 3 in District 5, and I was very happy to be there last night and present those awards, and there'll be an article on that in the upcoming Sentinel as well. Also later this month, actually on Sunday, April 28th, and I see Supervisor Schultz is on as well, but on April 28th, I'll be attending the Town of Henrietta's Youth Board for their Hall of Fame, Youth Hall of Fame induction. And I look forward to attending that and celebrating, again, the incredible kids in Henrietta. So I appreciate that invitation. So a lot of great things going on. Also, as of the last week or so, our supervisors and mayors should have received some notifications from the county about a new sidewalk assistance program that is being presented and being started, if you will. The County of Monroe, the legislature put an agreement together where we would put $10 million into the county's budget to work and provide supporting funds to our local municipalities for a sidewalk program for areas that may not have sidewalks currently. So this program is just beginning. We're going to be getting more and more information out there. But if there is a county road within the towns or villages in Monroe County where there are not sidewalks and that municipality wants to put sidewalks in, it can be in conjunction with a current county road project or not. But it has to be for new sidewalks. There will be some matching funding. So these sidewalk projects can be quite costly, and the county is going to be putting upwards of 50% financial support in for these programs. And we've put, as I said, $10 million into the plan budget for this. And it's not going to be a one and done type program. We currently plan on putting more funding into that as these funds go down. So this will be a nice benefit to our towns and villages in Monroe County for new sidewalk programs along county highways or county roadways. So our supervisors and mayors will be getting more information on that moving forward. So a lot of good things going on. We appreciate the opportunity to be on, and thanks again, Chris. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, thanks, Rick. Over to Jim Kirch. He's supervisor of the town of Wheatland. What's going on, Jim? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yep. Thanks, Chris. I also want to express my gratitude for hosting this and putting this on. The more I get into this position, the more I get to people and they want to participate or make sure that their information is participated. So I appreciate it. We have a brush pickup on May 6th. That's our town outside village. We have our spring trash cleanup at our highway garage on Saturday, April 27th and Saturday, May 4th. So that's important for all of our residents. I'm going to go back a little bit to March because I missed a few meetings. We had our Easter egg hunt, and when you know, we got 5 inches of snow the night before the Easter egg hunt, but it was well participated and well attended, and the Recreation Department did an absolutely fantastic job given the weather circumstances. We have our farmers market vendor applications out. Our farmers market will not start until July, but it's really exciting here. We moved it back to the American Legion in town on Main Street. So we're really looking forward to it, and very exciting. And if anyone has any questions on that, they can obviously contact us at the building department or Lisa Bates at the town office. Next up, our summer camp registration begins May 1st. Summer camp actually starts July 1st and runs through August 16th, and we'll have more information in our newsletter. So let me go to the newsletter. At the last board meeting, we got a newsletter, a print newsletter approved. We're very excited about it. It's been a nice team building experience for the staff putting it together. Steve has been a huge help with, he has quite a background in this area, but we used to have a newsletter years ago. It disappeared for budgeting reasons. So we were able to get the board approval to move it forward. And what we're calling our spring summer edition, we're going to print next week. So we're pretty excited about that. Just want to remind the folks, our senior center is open on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 10 to 2. Anyone 60 plus is welcome. There's also a lunch club. It's called the Lunch Club 60, which is at noon on those same days. Suggested contribution $3.50, and the meals are excellent. Couple of last things. The Wheatland Senior Center is taking a trip to Frontier Field for a Red Wings game on Thursday, May 30th. And that registration is open to all registered senior center participants. 2 other things of note, because this one's near and dear to my heart. We have a JT Wells Barnes. It's called Still Standing, JT Wells Barnes, broadcast premiere May 13th, WXXI at 9 p.m. My family has a Wells Barn on the property, so we did get invited to the screening. I believe it's the Little Theater. So we're pretty excited about that, but it will be on channel 21 at May 13th at 9 p.m. And that was it for me.
All right, thanks, Jim. Over to Mike, the town of Lima. What's going on there?
Hello, Chris. Thanks for hosting again. As everyone knows, the village operates a lending closet for medical equipment out of the basement here at the town hall. We do have shower chairs and crutches and stuff like that. But this is a call for canes and wheelchairs, which we have had a run on canes and wheelchairs for some reason. So if you are tripping over it at your house and you would like it to go somewhere that it would be useful to someone, just drop them off here at the town hall, and we will be happy to make sure that they get lent out. The combined town and village cleanup days will be 8 to noon on May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You must get a permit from the town clerk. So town and village, go to the town clerk, get the permit. It's free for Lima town and village residents. This will include electronics recycling, and it's a maximum of 3 TVs per household. May 29th is this is a save the date. That's the Wednesday after Memorial Day. There will be an evening water information session for those outside the village who do not have public water. Anyone can attend, but primarily it's for them. This will be conducted by the Livingston County Water and Sewer Authority and Clark Patterson Lee, which is the town engineers. It is not a town board meeting. There's no decisions made that night. This is an informational session with giant blown up maps and the ability to ask questions and put sticky notes on things and make comments. This past Monday, I was invited to speak at the American Culinary Federation's annual Chef of the Year Awards because Lima resident Chris Januzzi is Chef of the Year. And so we all remember Chris from 11 years of excellent work over at the Rabbit Room there in Honeoye Falls. He is also one of the principals for the Birdhouse Brewing, which is down in Honeoye. Chris is also teaching now others to enjoy the culinary life up at MCC. But congratulations to Chris on a well-deserved Chef of the Year award. And that's all I've got.
All right. Thanks, Mike. And let's see who's next. Is it John or Steve? I guess it's going to be Steve. Steve, what's going on in Henrietta?
Howdy. We have had a couple meetings with regards to some rezonings that are taking place in town. The first is to rezone town property on Middle Road to industrial. The town's actually been making industrial use of this portions of this land for decades, but without the corresponding zoning. We're technically exempt from zoning laws, but I believe in following our own rules, so we're rezoning them to match our use and have invited the 5 homes in that area to participate or to remain zoned residential. 3 have chose to rezone, 2 chose to remain as is. I'll note, even if they rezoned to industrial, as long as they continue to live in their house and maintain it as a residential property, that will be a conforming use. If again, as long as they using it as a residence and following the rules of R115 with regards to setbacks, things like that. I'll note that all of Middle Road north of these parcels are industrial or commercial, and the lands to the east and west are both industrial. One of the other things we're doing with regards to those 5 homes is to protect residents from potential future expansion of the town's industrial operations. Because whereas I can promise them we won't do it, but I can't promise anything from a future town board, we're allowing them to purchase some of the town land around their homes to create a buffer. So they're each buying roughly an acre of land around their homes so that there'll be more separation from their houses. Right now, all of our uses are away from their homes, but you know, again, because we own the land right up to the back of their yards, I thought it would be good to allow them to purchase that. So 4 of the homes have opted to do so. Speaking of this new area, it's our new leaf and brush drop-off site. Its address is 520 Middle Road. It's a much more central location than our previous site. And one of the things that we're going to be doing there is potentially composting. So we approved a special use permit. Again, we don't really need one, but we did it to follow our own rules. And we put out an RFP for someone to operate the compost site, and the winner of that RFP was Impact Earth. And so I am now currently in negotiations to set up the contract for how to operate that. The site will never be a gigantic compost site. In fact, it could never possibly cross the threshold that needs a permit from the DEC, but it's just regulatory approval. And so we're currently working with DEC with regards to that. But it's going to be kind of a proof of concept. It's actually the first compost site in Monroe County, and we want to prove that you can do this in a manner that doesn't adversely affect the surrounding property. So that's the goal. We've all on the board made commitments that if they are unable to do that, we will shut them down. And the advantage here, as opposed to they're currently operating on a low-lying farm property that's had all kinds of issues with odor, because it's so wet, they're getting bacterial growth. They're not getting enough oxygen through, so it's anaerobic digestion, which creates stink. It's putrescent. It really is bad. And so but the problem is shutting that stuff down is difficult. Well, if it's on our land, we own the land, we can say stop now. So it's going to be a much better situation, and their plan is to use their current site. They will end compost operations there, and they will one of the uses they're discussing there is actually using the output compost to grow trees from saplings into 1.5, 2-inch caliper trees, so that you can use them they could sell them as well as use them to reforest some of our parklands that lost a lot of trees, especially to the emerald ash borer. So we're very much looking forward to that. To help this operation go properly, we've been working with the DEC program to bring in someone from the CET, which is Composting Engineering Technology or something along those lines, or Center for, and maybe it's Center for Ecological Technology. I don't remember exactly what it stands for. But anyway, the individual there is an expert on composting and how to set it up to have the greatest success. And in addition, I've been in discussions with the Golisano Institute for Sustainability at RIT. We are negotiating the donation of a biochar furnace, which basically produces, the output is biochar, which will help reduce, when you mix that in, it produces a better compost, reduces ammonia content, it has a whole lot of other beneficial effects on compost. So I expect that to happen soon. I worked closely with the colleague who runs the center in my past life at RIT. So very excited about that and their willingness to do that. And they are going to also send students from this center to, help operate it, look at what we, help keep on top of the compost site and everything. So very excited about what's happening there. The second rezone is a bit different. It's Brooks Road, and it would convert the land to rural residential. Currently, it's R115, which is what your normal single-family residential neighborhood, fairly high density. But if you look at the road, it's really a very rural road. It has 3 horse farms on it. It's the good portion of the road is within the agricultural district. There's multiple farm fields, crop fields. Now, most of them are hay for the horses, but it really makes more sense for it to be rural residential. And part of this came up because there's a property at the end where the developer wanted to turn it into a 120 plus unit housing development, which if you've ever driven on Brooks Road, it's the narrowest road in town in terms of lanes. It has no shoulders. It's hilly, has no sidewalks. It really can't support that kind of traffic. And so as part of this rezone, in addition to the majority being rural residential, there would be with specifics for that property, which would allow 2 additional uses. One is full solar panels, and the other one is battery storage units. And what those mean is, as they go to differential electrical pricing, that's part of what the smart meters bring. They would be able to pull power off the grid at night when it's cheaper, put it back on the grid in the day when it's more expensive. And of course, there's not much demand at night. There's a lot of demand in the day, and they essentially make money on that arbitrage. The advantage of either of those uses is they don't generate any traffic. What we would put in as a requirement is that they would have a 150-foot buffer around them with vegetative screening, so the neighbors don't even have to see them. So it's a good compromise. We had a lot of neighbors there. Most were in favor of it. A couple people who weren't, I will say from their comments at the meeting, it struck me that they didn't fully understand what we're looking to do. In fact, someone said, is there some way you can prevent this turning into a subdivision? We were like, yes, by rezoning it to rural residential was what we're trying to do. So as Jim mentioned, or no, I'm sorry, wrong person. As Rich mentioned, Rick mentioned, our Youth Hall of Fame celebration is coming up on Sunday the 28th. We just recognized the students at our last town board meeting. So looking forward to that. And that's about it.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Now let's see. Can we have John? There's John. Hey, John, tell us what's going on in Mendon.
How are we doing today? Hey, just a few updates today. First of all, just a reminder to everybody that the best 3 days in Mendon are coming up, which is the Mendon Fireman's Carnival, May 30th, May 31st, and June 1st. Hope to see everybody there. Not working chronologically. Brush pickup starts April 22nd. So if you have any questions, call the highway department. They can answer any questions. Piggybacking on Legislator Milne's comments, as you probably know, if you've been following along, we are extending sidewalks in the hamlet of Mendon. Most of what we have proposed is not on a county road, unfortunately. However, they are on state roads and town roads. There is one portion on Miles Square Road from 251 north to the linear trail that we would like to have a sidewalk in there for access to the linear trail. So we will definitely be pursuing that with the county grant funding. The other area that we have received information from our residents about a need for sidewalks is on Assembly Drive. There's a portion that ends where the sidewalk currently ends, and it doesn't go all the way to Route 251. We would like to extend sidewalks there as well. We've had quite a few inquiries from our residents about that. So that's on our short list for sidewalks. The new chairs have been delivered for the spray park. These are kind of an Adirondack style chair that they're made from recycled milk cartons, and so are the picnic tables that are there. And the response has been very favorable. They've held up very well to a fair amount of traffic. And so we purchased some more of those chairs because we had so many of the adults who enjoyed them so much. The Mendon Youth Center will be closing on May 16th. We want to thank everybody for attending there, and we have traditionally closed that for the summer months for a number of reasons. One is that the children should be outside having fun and hopefully not sitting on the couch with their cell phone. And two, there is no air conditioning in that portion of the building, so it'll probably get a little warm in there in the summertime. Spray Park, where a place to cool off when the weather does get warm. It will be open before Memorial Day. All the problems we had last year with the concrete being slippery, those problems have been solved. We're already working towards, we had the water turned on this week, so we're already working towards that opening. Public hearing on May 13th regarding smoke shops in the town of Mendon. I mentioned this last week. I encourage anyone who has opinions, pro, con, or otherwise, to either attend the town board meeting on May 13th, which is at 7 o'clock at the Mendon Town Hall. You're welcome to send me an email at jmoffitt@townofmendon.org, and I'll make sure that your comments are read into the record for that public hearing. Any tax payments that the last day that we can receive them at the town of Mendon is April 30th. The town, we are lucky this, being in Monroe County, that the town is made whole from your county and town tax payments. So basically, we receive the full amount. Any amount that is shorted because of non-payment, the county goes back to the county, and the county will either at worst case scenario, sell the property at auction. At best case scenario, receive the money from the landowner. And that about covers it for us in Mendon. Thanks for having us.
All right, thanks, John. Thanks, anybody. Anybody have something else that they might have forgot to say? Seeing none, thank you all for being here. Thank you all out there in TV land, or whatever land it is, for watching. Remember, this broadcast airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page or subscribe to the YouTube channel, and those platforms will notify you when this starts broadcasting. That's all for this week. See you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.